Easy to judge sometimes, but and there's sometimes a variation, but it's not necessarily so. You know, if a horse is a horse, and you just judge it on the scale of marks from 1 to 10, and don't make it complicated. And quite a good halt. But then, you know, for a better mark at this level, it should be straight from halt to trot, because this is a Grand Prix test. Now for the extended trot. I'm sitting directly behind it, so it's difficult to see, but I can see the soles of the horse's hind feet flicking up, facing me. So for me, I feel that if a horse is really engaged, the hind feet should come more under, and the soles of the hooves should never face up towards the sky. So for me, sitting behind it, I probably would have thought it needed a bit more engagement. Now in the half pass, there's a little miscommunication, because half pass and the canter 8 are similar, with your outside leg behind the girth, inside leg on the girth. So little miscommunication. Django thought it was a canter 8 and it was actually half pass, and now this way is much better. For a better mark, it could show a better ease of flexion, and the flexion's in the neck, and it should look a little bit more in the direction he was moving. Good halt, but again, a little sharper into it would have been nice. Rein back diagonal, and maybe a little contact issue, but I was a little behind it. Now we'll see it from the side. And again, the hind feet flipping backwards a little bit for me, and I think that's a sign that he needs to be a little bit more engaged, a little more what we call through, where the horse is a little more over the back and the hind leg stepping more under. But super passage, you can see the activity, and you know, the really good ideas about the transition in, and the piaffe certainly 2-beat and diagonal, and then again a little interruption in the transition out of piaffe, because a little bit above the bit, perhaps a little bit hollow in the back, and a little climbing, not quite through again. But he's a baby at this level, and he can do all the movements really well. The extended walk is also coming straight towards me, but I can see that he's reaching his neck out. I can't really see the over track, which the judges from the side and the front will be able to see. I can say that when he went from extended to collected walk, I didn't see a great deal of change in the frame and around a more active walk. And I always think that the ultimate of collected walk would be piaffe, and does this walk look like at any moment it could be piaffe? And for a really big mark, it needs more activity. Now there's a mark here of 10 for the transition to passage, and it was clearly into passage, but a little bit behind the rider's aids, but still not a problem. And again, we see this really good hind leg coming into the piaffe, and he does step it well under his body. Yeah, you know, he'll get quite a good mark for the piaffe. You know, it shows great quality, and it's very easy for him. Again, in the passage, you can see a little bit tussling in the contact, and a little bit not quite so good over the back, and as a consequence, the hind leg's not quite under enough. But by the same token, yeah, a super attempt. Straight away into the 2-time changes. Jeremy has a bit of a 2, 3. Wow, these look great from the front. They're a lot straighter than they've been. Whoopsie, now he's heading a bit over the shop. He'll be pleased with that. You know, you work on movements from one competition to the other, and he's obviously been working on the changes, and there's no question that wherever when I saw him, there's so much better. Extended canter. It's interesting, he comes up off the ground a lot, but really for extended canter, it means you've got to cover a lot of ground and reach and stretch and get over the ground. And he gets very up off the ground, but really doesn't reach quite enough for the bigger marks. But that's partly the Prix. So, and Stallion being a bit of a stallion about the contact in the half passes, and as a consequence, losing a little quality in the purity of the canter. But from here, it looked like it was correct counting. Now the ones, this is Jeremy's nemesis. Missed one. he'll be pleased with that. They're getting better. He has always had a bit of trouble in the ones, but it's certainly a whole lot better. Now the pirouettes, he looks very good hind leg in the pirouette, but it was just needs to be a little bit more sitting and with the quarters a little bit more engaged, and it's just like a bit of a circle. The outside hind leg steps out all the time, and he should really be more like bending and flexible around his inside leg, and the quarters a little bit taking more weight. Transition was okay. Now the extended trot, the same. His tail's a great thing to have, a nice big thick tail like that. And now trot and the transition to passage. Clearly looks like got springs in his feet, huh? And a little bit rounder here, which I like. That's really nice now. Much better in the contact, and you can see a better hind leg. Whoopsie. Still, Piaffe is great. Again, the transition was clearer as far as the rhythm goes, but again, a little bit not so good in the contact. And passage, halt. And again, a little bit against the bridle.